Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below. Good evening everybody and welcome along to Apex Online Racing. This is the 5th round of the AOR TCC Championship here on Forza Motorsport 7. Tonight the drivers are at the Hockenheim ring in Germany and we should be in for a cracker. As you can tell, you don't hear the normal commentators. They're in LA this week for the Forza RC. So you got me in the commentary box, JessGames95, and joining me in the commentary box, I'm delighted to add, I'm not on my own, it is Tiski. Welcome, Tiski.
Hi, Jess. Thanks for the warm welcome and good evening, everybody. Glad to be here on this exciting 5th round for the AOR TCC.
Yes, it should be really exciting. We've got pretty much a few drivers can't make it, obviously due to them testing in LA, but the ones that we usually would expect to be in LA, they're still racing today. So the likes of the Williams guys we thought were going to be out there are still in this lobby. As you can see, we got Mitch and Seven. So yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but there we go. We're about to get underway. So we've got qualifying. So qualifying is going to be very tough for these drivers. Loads of difficult turns, especially around turn 4 and 5 as well. So I wonder how it's going to play out here. They've got a few laps to get their qualies in, and they are on a 2-second delay, which means they go 2 seconds after each other. So who are we looking out for today in qualifying?
Well, I'm just watching Tactical HD1, former GTR player. He's got some real pace in these front-wheel drive cars. AZM Vane is going to be a strong contender today, along with Williams Mitch and Williams Roadrunner. These are the ones that I'll be keeping a close eye on tonight.
Yes, there are a lot of fast drivers here today. Our former Forza RC and Le Mans champion. There is a few people in this lobby that are very quick. That's why they are in this lobby. We are in quite one of the fastest lobby out there at the moment. We've got 17 drivers, but there is a lot more than this if you are new to the Forza leagues going on right now. So Tactical is on a lap at the moment, I believe, as he's going past these last couple of corners. I am just going to get the player info. There we go. So he is driving the 2004 Chevrolet, which looks pretty nice. It's the first time I've seen these cars as he comes across the line. Doesn't say for me where he is at the moment, but he's actually on pole at the moment. Is that right?
No, I've just seen Williams Mitch do a 145. Let me just see if I can pull him up. Yeah, I'm just coming on to Williams Mitch now. Yeah, he's on second place is 146. Vane's just gone up into second place with a 146, dead near enough.
Wow.
Williams 7 and Vane very close on the timing, 0.11 and 0.14. Extremely close.
Yeah, that is really good to see all the time separated out like that. It just goes to show the high caliber of the drivers here today. I wasn't expecting it to be that close, but that is why they are on this lead. They only get a few chances to make a first impressions. We've got Mitch there on pole, Vane in second, Tactical third. Merck's doing quite well in fifth place at the moment with a 146.3, I might add, but it is going to be quite intense to see if they want to get good track position. But usually starting on the dirtier side of the track usually might not be a good thing, because you probably might get slipstream if you're starting behind the race leader. We'll just have to wait and see. But already Mitch making a good first impression. He did have a little bit of a bottle in race 3 in Laguna Seca last week, if you were watching last week, and he won the first 2 races, but the last race he didn't win, and he's looking to pull off that recovery in Hockenheim tonight, and he's looking very strong already.
Yeah, with a 1:45.9, he's the fastest guy on the track at the moment. I'm not expecting anybody to get much better than that. Might see a 1:45.8 maybe, but it looks like Mitch is stomping home with this qualifying session.
Yes, he is. He's just the one to watch out for in this league at the moment. He's one of our championship leaders at this stage, and oh, well, actually no, we got someone who's actually
wow.
Mitch. Let me just see. It is Vane. Vane is on a stonker tonight. He was on second, and now he's already beaten Mitch. He's got one more lap to do it. I've seen someone go off in turn 4. I think that was Vettel. I think it was his game attack. But wow, RZM Vane. He's definitely the quickest guy at the moment. So Mitch has really got to find some more time in the bag. He's under pressure now. He thought he was going to be the fastest guy, but look at him. Vane is hungry to see what he can do. I think he's seen what Mitch has done in the last race, last time out, and he's thinking that his mistakes might cost him in future races to come. So definitely watch out for Vane, and also Tactical as well, right behind as well. So this is going to be a very tight end to qualifying.
I think Williams Mitch is up on his lap time. I'm just waiting for the split to come up on the ticker, but we're just getting around to the last section of Hockenheim now with Williams Mitch, and he's very smooth through this last section. He's going to be really hoping he can cross this line a little bit quicker. I think tonight's going to be one of those nights where I eat my words a lot, because I didn't think we'd see a 1:45.7 from Vane. That is one hell of a time. I don't think Mitch has done it.
No, he's not. He's still in second place. Now, the predicted pole time that we were predicting whilst we were talking before the stream was a 1:45, 1:46. So we are pretty much bang on that respect. I'm going to actually see if anyone is closing up to Mitch. 7 is actually in 3rd, but I don't think anyone can improve on Vane's time. Vane, I think, still has one more lap to go before he can set one, but he doesn't probably have to set another lap if he doesn't want to, because he's comfortably in a good position, but he just wants to make sure he's right up ahead of the guys in front, which is just what he needs. And he's improved 1:45.7. His last lap was a 1:45.8, so he's been very consistent already this qualifying. So yeah, watch out for him in the race, I expect.
Yeah, it's going to be between Vane and Mitch if they're starting next to each other for the race. They're going to have a big battle to get round that first corner first. It's going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top. Both extremely fast, talented drivers. I believe Mitch will be going to LA to do some testing for the Forza RC with Turn 10. So, a very interesting race ahead of us tonight, indeed.
Yes, we've got 3 races, 8 laps in each of them. Obviously, in the game, it will show us 9 laps due to the 1-lap formation that they will have during the race as well. So they have 2 races. Well, 1 race where it's based on qualifying, and the second race I will need to double check what that's based on. The second race will be sorted by race 1 results. You know, have a usual 1 warm-up lap. And race 3 always brings up very exciting times because it's reverse grid. So basically, they really need to get a good result in the first race to make sure you get some really good points in the second race. Because in the third race, it'll probably be more difficult to gain positions if you're lower down the field. But we'll just have to find out as well. As I think most of the guys now, I do believe, are finishing their laps. As it looks like Vane is still on pole at the moment, as Mitch just dropped down to 3rd. And Tactical's gone on pole.
I know. I don't know if that's. I think that's the amount of time it's took everybody to complete the race.
Ah, right.
So I
There's not.
don't think. Although Tactical's got a 1:45.715. Yes, he is. He has got pole. Yes.
Yeah. So Tactical on pole with Mitch and Bain not that far behind. Tactical did well in the final race last time about. He actually won race 3. He climbed his way through the field. He had a really amazing start in the final race, to be honest. I was watching it earlier on. You'll be able to see that in the highlights in a minute. He just got a really good launch and managed to overtake a couple of cars. Probably one of the best overtakes I've ever seen in Forza, to be honest. And it just shows, really. So well done on Tactical there for getting pole position. And yeah, it's going to be very, very tight. We're still waiting on the last few drivers to complete them, ready to start. We are going to have a little bit of a gap between the quali and the race, like we usually do for race 1 in a minute. But I think Custom Dips, did not set a lap time. He's DNF'd, I think. But everyone else has set a lap time. So who is your money on race 1?
This is an hard one to call now, isn't it?
Yep.
I would have. Oh, my heart says Mitch. I want Tactical to win, though. My heart says no. My head says Mitch is going to win, but my heart says Tactical. I want Tactical up there because he's so quick in these types of cars, and he's really good at tuning them. This really is his playground, so he deserves to do well.
Yes, and everyone deserves to do well as well. Mitch definitely is looking strong, and so is the other guys as well. So should be quite a close matchup between Vane, Mitch, and all the other guys as well. Sean not doing too bad either. Barry as well. There's a few people that didn't quite make the mark down the field as well, so we need to watch out and see what they can do throughout the race as well. So whilst they set up for the race 1 lobby, we're just going to have some highlights from the races from last week at Laguna Seca, just in case you missed what went on last week, and if you just want a little bit of a feel of what happened last week, and you get to hear the normal commentators again just for those highlights. It's around about 5 minutes each, and that should take us all the way to the first race in Hockenheim. So hope you enjoy, and here we go.
Round 1 of the Apex Online Racing Touring Car Championship, and we're underway. Williams 7 with a little bit of a slow start. We're hopping back on board here with Aerox Ridge, who's looking up the inside, can't make space there on the pit lane exit. That's not a part of the track. All 3 Williams drivers on the inside of the track, all 3 Aerox drivers on the outside, and 7, the Cork, holding back the Aerox drivers from Williams. Unbelievable start there, and Williams just about hold on, Mellish.
Look at that distance between the Honda Civics and the Audis already. Renault finds his way into 6th place there. Bokic now back down to 7th. Turbo, he had a great start there. Tactical's up to 10th already. Like I said, a couple of corners, he's already in the top 10. But Aerox and Williams have got the better start.
Evan, yep, has managed to get in front of Roadrunner. So let's hop into that battle on board right now with Roadrunner. Still looking for a way past his teammate, but that'll irk Roadrunner, no doubt, to be put down 1 position.
Absolutely, Williams absolutely bossing the start of this race here in lap 3. We've got 7 laps remaining, and I have to say, what a fantastic start. The problem for me, Ali, straight away, did Roadrunner make a mistake? Because if he made a mistake, and that's what 7 used to take advantage of, that means that Roadrunner may potentially still be faster than 7, and 7 may be holding him up. They've got to make these decisions. They've got to communicate as a team. If Roadrunner is faster, it's better just to let him through, 7 take that 3rd place, and become that absolute blockade, which is essential for Williams to take the top 3 spots right now. Because Bain is looking hungry. Matt Gaming, 661, he's a regular in Lobby 8. It has to be said. Oh, that's a big slide there from Bain. Big slide there, just hits the sand coming out of turn 2, and that will allow his teammate Ridge through. That's going to slow these guys down, give them, the Williams brothers, that lifeline they need and all the air and everything they need just to walk away with this championship. What a great run it's been so far for the Williams brothers. Ridge and Vane kind of just bumping each other right now because they don't know who's fastest. Vane with the mistake, but Ridge leads the Aerox trio.
Already
Oh, here
looking
we
like he's
go.
pushing Bokit here. Incredible stuff. I've got to say, Mersh, Bokit looking rough as old
What a
boots out
run.
there today, though. Lap 7 of 11 here on race number 1, but Bokit looking rough compared to his teammates in that RS3.
Look at that, Bokit having to go defensive there, takes the midline going into the last corner, and it's going to be LSCM Turbo with the cutback. Is he going to get the room? He's going to have the pace, and he's going to have track position going into the Andretti hairpin. Renault is just out of reach for those guys up front, but LSCM Turbo is going to go side by side with Bokit. Bokit's got the racing line, but Turbo's got the track position. He's going to lock it up under brakes. He's going to get a bump and run there. Tactical's looking up the inside as well. Tactical goes through, and Bokit loses 2 places. 3 laps to go, and Bokit is down to 9th place here. No one could have scripted this.
What?
Oh, and
But
Tactical
Bokit straight back
scrapes
through.
up all the speed.
Straight back through, getting caught up with each other there. Tactical and Turbo, turn number 3, caught up on each other's bumpers, and Bokit just sluiced his way through up 2 positions. Unbelievable stuff as Tactical throws it back on Turbo there. So Turbo losing out ultimately, slipping down 1 position, and Tactical up the road into 8th. I've got to say though, that was lucky for Bokit right there. That didn't look like skill. That was taking advantage of a situation. He managed it. He did it beautifully. But I don't think it bodes well in terms of pace for the rest of this race. We could see this battle closing up again.
Yeah, I think that Bokit's psychology right now, he won't be feeling confident at all. He's just been given a lifeline. I feel that Tactical was just rather aggressive though, unnecessarily aggressive. Tried to make a move around the outside of turn 3 and turn in. Obviously, when he tried to do that, he rubbed on the back bumper, well, rubbed off the fender, the rear left-hand fender of Turbo. Then Turbo couldn't turn because of the collision mode. He couldn't turn the car. He had to he straight-lined it. Did the best he could, but then Tactical again dive bombing into turn 4, not really giving LSCM Turbo the time of day really. They know that they've branched out now. There's no way that Vane can kind of, close this gap in the last stage of this race, and it's 7 and Roadrunner going side by side with each other. Now they can have the battle, they can have the fun they want between teammates because there's no one there to challenge them. They know that they're going to take the top 3 spots. Great accumulation of points for the Williams Esports drivers here in the 4th round of the TCC. And I have to say, 7 is looking hungry. It doesn't matter who gets the points here because it all goes towards their team standings. So it's just whoever's bravest, whoever's daftest. It's fun time for the Williams drivers.
Yeah, there you go. And, we've mentioned only 2 drivers can take their points forward to the leaderboard. There's 3 out here racing for Williams, but that does still deprive Aerox and any other team out there of those 3rd place points if these guys keep racking up these positions. I say keep doing it as if they've been doing it a whole bunch of time, but that, of course, isn't true. This is the first time we've seen a 1, 2, 3 of this kind in the AOR TCC. And I can't think of any other team out there who are more deserving of it as Mitch rounds the final corner, accelerates out and heads to the line. He's going to take the first win of the first race here of the night at Laguna Seca. And it's 2nd and 3rd as well for the Williams team as Roadrunner and 7 cross the line. 1, 2, 3 for Williams Esports. That's a fantastic result.
Oh, I love this, Ali. I love it. You can hear them as they all get off for the start there. Great start there from Bokit. Renault again dogging off the start. He's going to lose 2 positions immediately. Bokit looks towards the inside line. He's going to hold that there. The Civics there again absolutely trounced by the Audis. And here comes Tactical looking around the outside. Gets in the tangle with Vane. Vane in the middle of this Audi trio. And it's 3 wide for the Civics, 3 wide for the Audis. I have never seen anything like this at all. Mitch holding the inside line. No, Roadrunner holding the inside line, sorry. Mitch resolved down to 2nd place there, 7. Look at the inside line. Ridge in 4th, Vane in 5th. Tactical all the way up to 6th, and he's looking charged. He's charging on the inside of Vane. He's going to make that stick. Vane's just going to have to hold back and go back into that 6th place there. Really heavy on the brakes of Tactical. Just needs to get his head in the game. He's just absolutely feral at the moment in the Chevy Cruze. He's desperate to make up places. He knows his teammate Commando isn't here, and it's all up to him to make up the points.
And Mitch looking very human and Tactical off the track. That's huge at the back of the track there. 3 cars off, and Tactical losing out after a very promising start.
Holy moly, these guys swapping paint jobs. Tactical taking the racing line, but there's no one there side by side with him. Completely running Renault off the track there. Cammy makes it through. This is a great performance from Cammy, just seizing the opportunity while everyone's in fisticuffs right now. Bokit back in that 6th spot, so he's not lost anything. Great job from him. Renault, Tactical losing out. Cammy now getting swallowed up from Tactical. Tactical running super aggressive. And like you say, Ali, out in front, Ridge has taken that solid 3rd spot away from 7.
Tactical up the inside of Cammy, making that stick on the camber there on the inside of the track. Beautifully done, beautifully held, and Tactical makes up a position. Cammy wants it back though, almost immediately. That won't happen through that kink, but just about actually hopping on here with Cammy. What am I seeing? This is Renault slipping by, excuse me. I thought that was Tactical for some reason. Sean as well, so Cammy dropping back 2-3 positions in the space of just 1 or 2 corners. Cammy getting bullied here, Mellish. Cammy's not done here. Sean, the driver we were talking about before the start of this race, a real promising up-and-comer here in the AOR TCC. Taking a little bit of pressure from Cammy, allowing him to have a little sniff at the position back. But there's another driver there in the form of PCM Addy, trying to sneak his way up into the top 10 here. Everybody wants a piece of Cammy today, and slipping back down is ordered very, very quickly indeed. Ridge at some points looking like he has the pace over 7, and 7 looking very hungry to work his way back onto the podium from time to time, as well as Ridge gets a nice defensive line there into the final corner, knows all about what 7 was trying to do, and he tries the undercut, the way out of that final corner, run up the straight here, and 7 is going to take 3rd back from Ridge, and there's nothing you can do to hold that back.
No, absolutely. The Audi may have it on the handling stats and the the momentum around the corners. It has that downforce, but the Honda Civic has so much mechanical grip. It has the torque out the slow speed, so it really does gain an advantage coming out the last corner. 7 getting a little bit squirrely though, just clips the sand with the rear left tyre. He's got to be careful. He's made all the hard work. He's put all the hard work and effort into catching Ridge. He doesn't want to lose it just a couple of corners later.
I haven't seen these two really sort of face off before. I'm not sure they have a huge amount of experience racing up against each other. Not, 7 not somebody Ridge is familiar with, Ridge not somebody 7 is familiar with, and so they're both learning, they're both working out how they drive, how they race. Ridge, they're losing out after a cutback from 7 on the final corner. It was a peach of a move, and now Ridge really needs to answer that in the coming couple of laps in order to get back onto that podium. Closed right up to the rear of 7 at the end of the penultimate lap. And clicking over the line, there's Ridge beginning lap number 11 of 11. There's Mitch beginning lap 11 of 11 as well in the lead of this race, but Ridge with just a few more corners, one more rotation to find his way past 7, otherwise it's all for naught. Here we go, race number 2, lap 11 of 11, big old 1 tyre fire on the way out of the last turn, and Mitch takes the next win. 2 for 2 at Laguna Seca so far, and only 1 race remains. That's the reverse grid coming up. It's going to be Roadrunner in 2nd, with Williams 7 in 3rd, and Aerox Ridge having to settle after all that for 4th position. So hop on board with Tactical and get ready to drop that clutch. He's going to want to get the lead quickly. He's going to need to get the lead quickly and start to break this pack as soon as he can. He passes 1, the crew's giving him all that acceleration, and down the hill passes a 2nd. Now it's only him and Matt 66661 for the win. I mean, it's a beautiful start there in that cruise, and it's really its party piece. The car is not fast enough for the rest of the race, so he's going to have a lot cut up for him.
Ali is 4 wide of the back. They just don't care. There's no one else on track right now. It's tunnel vision. It's like they're standing in that. They're standing in that. Where the horses stand at the beginning of the Grand National. Just blinkers. They can't see anybody else. It is just go at the back there. Cammy losing an absolute ton of places. One that we said we'd watch out for, but he's struggling right now here. Spectre looking at the inside of Merckx in 4th place there. He's just going to let off. He did that at the wrong time. He let off the gas at the wrong time. Spearman looking around the outside of the kink there. He loses another place. He's back down to 7th. Ridge looking his way to make up at the top of the corkscrew into 7th. Spectre's going to hold him off here, but it's the Aerox boys making the biggest gains right now, Ali. Oh my god, it's 4 wide, and 7 makes an absolute peach of a dive on there on Ben. Doesn't make it stick. He was momentarily in 9th there from the back of the pack. They're that close. I think he went from 14th to 9th in the space of a corner, and then he's in 10th. He's managed to sift through his way. Vane is leading that massive pack of Titans at the back of this touring car lobby A. Sean has got breather. He's breathing down the back of Spectre. Ridge is looking very, very strong at the moment, and Tactical is in first.
Yeah, we're just watching that battle for the lead. Tactical fighting it out with Matt and Addy. They were 3 wide in the run out of turn 1, 2 wide when they got through the first sector, and now Tactical's managed to slip his way by. Addy now threatening Matt, who makes a little tiny mistake on the way up through the corkscrew. Mercs, what a dive bomb, what an absolute banzai move into the corkscrew. Scares Matt off the line more than anything, and works his way up onto the podium. Unbelievable move from Mercs there.
He literally perched it on the top of the corkscrew, stopped the car, rotated it 90 degrees, maybe doing 5 miles an hour, and gains a position. Look at Ridge there on the inside. Ridge on the inside of Spearman. Spearman didn't even see that. That came out of nowhere. And Spearman gets swallowed there, but he's going to go side by side into turn 1 here. Ridge has got track position. Spearman on the racing line, and Ridge is going to hold him off going into turn 1. Matt Gaming up ahead, got a breather for the moment. Mercs, what a move for 3rd place. And Spearman pushed way out wide. Spectre's going to capitalise on this moment as well if he's not careful. Ridge already into 5th place, lap 4. Great job at the moment, and look at Matt Gaming again, locking up under brakes, Ali. He just cannot keep it under control.
I'm sitting here with Mitch, just coming through the final corner there, made a double overtake on the 2 cars just behind him. That, of course, was Matt's teammate Sean and Aerox Bokit, so working his way up the field steadily here, Mitch, but he's surrounded by Aerox drivers and into the rear of Vane there, giving him a bit of a run. That's Vane taking Mitch off the track, both of them trying to make it through turn number 1, and Mitch in the barrier. Massive shunt for the championship leader, and Vane, I think, will have a few words to say about that as well. Very, very close crash between those two. Vane really coming in and clipping Mitch's quarter panel. Mitch surely with damage there. You can see him struggling to keep that thing pointing in the right direction, and that is a wrecked Honda Civic if you ever want to see one. Of course, it's someone else's gain. Bokit coming up the inside of Spearman, and 7 now fishing around there on the straight and looking for a Audi spaced gap up ahead of him. Spearman's defending, also trying to find his way through past Spectre, who's driven a brilliant defending race. Let's be fair on TUS Spectre here, Mellish. What a great defensive drive from him throughout this race.
Well, it was a mistake into turn 3 that saw Spearman get a little bit loose. Spectre capitalised on the moment. Hasn't done enough so far to capitalise on getting Matt Gaming, that 5th spot from Matt Gaming, but Bokit sniffing around, poking his bonnet in where it doesn't belong. He's sensing where his territory is, and he's looking at the inside of Spearman here. I think he's going to get him straight on the brakes there. Spearman going to give him the room. You just can't give people the room in touring cars. Give them an inch and they'll take a mile there. Spearman manages to hang it around the outside, which in unpopular fashion, Ali, is actually the fastest way around that corner is the outside line. It's probably one of the only corners like it in the game for him, but he's got his work out. There's Mercs going at the inside, and he just cuts her nose off Mercs, and they're going to go side by side. Look at that, rubbing fenders.
No messing around. Those two, yeah, getting stuck into it, and Mercs eventually making a bit of a bruiser of a move on the 2nd place runner. Gets his way up into that challenging position for the win in this race. Keep in mind, though, Ridge also wants it. He's stuck on the quarter panel of Addy. Those two getting very connected there on the way into the corkscrew. That's dangerous. That's a tough place to get mixing in that way. You can so easily get caught out by the track and find yourself in the barrier. Ridge gets away with it, though, as does Addy, and those two will, well, they'll live to fight another lap, I suspect.
Oh, you should have seen what Ridge just did then. He fainted to go up the inside and moved straight back to the racing line. Addy had to go mid-track because he thought he had to go defensive. Kind of scrubs his own speed off, though. He didn't do it too badly. He still maintains that 3rd spot, though, but Ridge just working his way like a puppet master up this pack in 4th. He has done absolutely excellent for the Aerox boys so far. I've got to give him a round of applause because he is just weaving his way through this traffic like it was a Sunday drive.
These cars are threatening each other, though, down into Andretti, and Turbo's going to make up 2 positions. You're going to lose them just as easily, though. That battle looks pretty rough in the fight for 10th position. No holds barred, and Turbo's on the outside. Big old slide, touch on the gravel, and a whole load of positions lost. Unbelievable. Well, we've hardly talked about him all race, and I think it's time to jump on board with the race leader. That's Tactical HD1. He's had an amazing season. We've talked a lot about him in previous rounds, about how coming into the AOR TCC, Tacticals look like a new driver, somebody a lot more aggressive, really wanting those race wins, and has the equipment, I think, underneath him now to deliver those. And finally, after however many attempts, 9 attempts I guess in the previous rounds, 2 attempts today, Tactical looking like he's going to take a race win at the AOR TCC. Brilliant to see.
Big dive bomb!
Dive bomb
Huge
there
dive
from
bomb
Ridge
from
on the
Ridge.
final corner. But Tactical crosses the line, takes the win in race number 3. It's a run to the line for Merckx and Ridge. Merckx is going to take second, Ridge in third. Those two dragged it out from the last corner. A last corner dive bomb, as you say, Malish, for Ridge. But Tactical takes the win, and that's a great and important performance for Tactical.
Okay, we are back after you have seen the highlights from Laguna Seca from last week. 3 pretty close races, to be honest, so we are very excited to see what is going to go on in the first race in Hockenheim, which is going to start in roughly about 5 minutes time. So we're looking at qualifying results then. The top 4 are separated. It has been very close, in particular between the top 2. This is very exciting.
It is exciting. The times are so close. So we've got, in pole position, we've got Tactical on a 1:45.715, and then in second place I think it was Vane with a 1:45.716. So there's literally nothing between first and second. Then we've got Williams Mitch in third with a 1:45.787. Vane, RZM Vettel had a bit of an issue with qualifying. He had to rerun his qualifying, and he ended up getting a 1:45.8, which puts him in 4th position, just splitting up the Williams boys. So they were originally 3rd and 4th, and now they've been split up with RZM Vettel in there as well to accompany Vane, I think it was. Yeah. So we've got 2 RZM boys on the first couple of rows of the grid, with 1 privateer and 2 more Williams. So it's going to be all pressure on Tactical at the front there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Tactical is pretty much used to the pressure already, so hopefully he could get a good start. But I'm sure the Williams boys and Vettel is going to give a run for their money as well. And Vettel did have some brake issues, but thanks to the Forza admins for sorting that out, and it's much appreciated. So it is a fair league anyway. It is a shame to lose out on problems such as force feedback or brakes or something like that. Problems with the brakes. If they have problems with that, then they get to do their qualifying again, which is what they've done. So which is good for Vettel. He's going to have a bit more confidence going into the race as well. So going into the race, actually, a lot of overtaking opportunities, in particular into the start of the turn 1, the long straight going into turn 2 as well. But we could also see a potential possibly around turns 4 and 5 going into the Parabolica straight, and also in the hairpin in turn 6 as well. So we possibly could see some more action possibly than Seca last week, but they may prove us wrong. Seca was amazing last week in terms of overtakes, and I'm sure it's going to be exciting for the drivers again tonight as well. In particular, I wonder what the drivers are thinking right now in terms of how they're going to make it through this race.
They're just going to be hanging on to the seats, I think, because it's a fast track. You've got, like you mentioned, the Parabolica straight, which it's flat out. You're going to get quite high speed, and then having to come straight down into sort of first, second gear for turn 6, the hairpin. That's where we're going to see the overtakes, in my opinion. The rest of the track's pretty tight for overtaking, but you're going to see a lot of action in turn 6 on the hairpin, possibly turn 2. Where the track really slows down, that's where you're going to see the overtaking, and it's all about the exit speed. These cars, AOR have tried to balance them as best they can, but some have good exit speed, some are a little bit slower than the others. So all the cars have their own little attributes that are good. So we're going to see some good overtakes with people driving out of that turn 6 hairpin and getting the legs on people, and hopefully that's where we'll see the action.
Yes, and they may prove to do some overtakes where we may not expect as well. Some other tricky corners could be possibly in between turn 9 potentially and turn 10, a little runoff area there a little bit, as well, potentially towards the final corner as well. A few people could find a bit tricky in these cars as well. It is a bit easier than obviously if you drive an F1, because F1 it has more speedier, but if you miss a corner and you brake too hard, or if you brake too late, then it'll be very, very difficult to get back into your normal racing. But due to this league, there's only 8 laps, and they only have 8 laps to make an impression, and if you bottle it in turn 1, which hopefully people won't tonight, they got to make it cautious into turn 1, then it could cost them for the rest of the race, and they will have a lot of positions to make up as well. So it is very crucial to take it easy into turn 1, don't go a little bit too aggressive, and that is probably why we'll probably see some good action. We'll just have to wait and see. We're still waiting for the lobby to get ready to fill up for the drivers to head on as well. So we did say that Mitch is going to be one to watch out for, tactical as well. Minardi, a person that we were expecting to do well in qualifying, didn't do too well. He is a Forza veteran at the end of the day, so it was a bit of a shock to us that he didn't do too well in qualifying, but I know he's good at race pace, so he could be one to watch out for as well.
I'm sure I remember racing against Elamar Minardi on Forza 4. So he's been around a long time. It's not a face I expected to see. I'm sure this is his first sort of Forza race on AOR. So you never know, he might get into it. He might show some pace. Certainly in the reverse grid. He might run away with it in the reverse grid if possible. Matt Gaming's just said something in the chat. Don't get curbed by turn 1.
Yeah.
Which is a big risk. Turn 1 is an absolute killer on these cars, because these cars are momentum cars. Turn 1, you don't really want to be braking a lot. You just want to be throwing it through the corner and sort of hanging on to the car, let the car do all the steering for you. You hit that curb travelling those sort of speeds in these little tiny cars, you're likely going to end up on 2 wheels. You're then going to go off the track on the exit, so it's a tough corner. Also, I wanted to say, you mentioned earlier on turn 10 where we might see some overtaking. The marshals are going to be looking at turn 1 and turn 10 on the exits of these corners for people extending. These are renowned parts of the track for people extending, so yes, we might see some action there, but will it be legal? So we need to keep an eye on things like that, people extending the track.
Yeah, the marshals will be having a little bit of a close eye just to see what goes on and stuff, because they can't really get away with exceeding track limits on this circuit. You can get caught up a lot. It's one of those tracks where if you don't hit a corner right, it gets you really for the most of this lap. So yeah, we'll watch out for a few corners, and so they don't get too aggressive. And we haven't seen much marshalling in a few races before in this season already. It's been quite quiet for the marshals in terms of track limits, which is quite good. So hopefully we'll see the same thing tonight and they keep it steady. But you never know. It is Hockenheim. They may take a corner wrong, or they may probably gain a position for exceeding. But they will get a penalty if they do. So.
Ultimately, all these guys are friends, and they're not out there to cheat.
No.
If they do go wide, it's probably going to be a mistake 9 times out of 10. And half the time when there's some sort of extending going on, it gets sorted out on the track, someone will wait up. And with this being sort of a community league, so to speak, we take that into consideration. A little bit more strict in FRC, you can't just cut the corner and then wait and let somebody go past, they take it a bit more seriously. But you know, we look at how the whole race has panned out, so to speak.
Yeah, so we watch and see what happens, and then if they mess up a little bit and they cause an incident which may be looked at, then the marshals will probably look at that and see what happens. As the drivers are starting to get ready for the first race of the night. Just to let you know, race 1 is based on the qualifying results, and then race 2 will be based on race 1 results. So if you won race 1, you'll be on pole for race 2. So it's good to get a good result in race 1 because you're more than likely going to win race 2 if you do that, but you never know, they may prove us wrong. And race 3, like we said earlier, is reverse grids, and we've seen some quite interesting race 3s quite a lot. It's in particular last week in Saka, it was probably the longest highlights I've ever done, trying to cut how many action there was. There was so much action in the first lap last week in race 3 that it was hard to not mention it in the highlights tonight. So I wonder if we'll get the same tonight, but obviously we're not going to go to race 3 yet, so we're not going to talk about it. But we may see the same amount of action in race 3, what we usually see in race 3 and race 1. I really do hope so, because that will be insane to watch and hard for whoever's editing the highlights.
Reverse grid is my favourite race. It doesn't matter what league it is, whether it's TCC or Elite Factory Races, Modern GT, it doesn't matter. Reverse grid gives the boys at the back a nice chance to have a good start on the race, and then the faster boys, they've got to be careful getting their way through the grid, and it can go one or two ways. You know, you've got last place, the fastest guy can just storm it and be in first by the end of the first lap, or he might get held up, and then that's when you start seeing loads of action, as you put it, loads of moves going on. So yeah, race 3, I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be good fun.
Yeah, it is going to be good fun, in particular for the likes of Tactical, and hopefully Mitch doesn't have any sort of issues like he did with race 3 last week, and he is not used to following other cars. He's used to being right at the front. So he's going to be under pressure tonight at the start of the race as well, having Tactical in front of him on the race start, but he's going to get some slipstream, whereas Tactical is not. He's going to have some clean air in front of him, so Tactical will need to watch out. So Tactical is going to be under pressure going into turn 1 to try and get it in, but possibly turn 2 and 3 is where we could see Mitch and Vane behind Tactical really challenging for the lead so far, and possibly people at the back as well we can start to see as well. So should be really good fun for these guys tonight. But the run into turn 1 is going to be very, very important, as most of the drivers are already in the lobby, which is a good sign to see as well. Let us know your thoughts in the chat, guys, who you think is going to win race 1 as well. If you're wondering where the usual commentators are tonight, they are in LA for Forza RC, as quite a few of the drivers are who are not here tonight. They're at Forza RC, so hope they have a good time. I think they won't. I think they'll be back. I think one of them will be back next week. I think the other won't be back until the week after. So I'm really jealous of them actually, because LA's usually all about sunshine, but obviously it'll be about Forza, Forza, Forza. I've seen some of them in Italy in the game, so I think they'll probably have a lot to talk about when they are back doing the normal streams in a few weeks' time. So if you missed out, then they'll probably talk about it in streams to come. So we'll have to wait and see. As race 1 is about to begin in Hockenheim, I'm not sure about the weather. I think the weather pretty much stays the same for the whole race. Am I right? Do you know much about the weather for these races?
Well, it should be based on the real weather forecast for that area, but I've not heard anybody say anything about it. So I'm going to assume, and assuming is sometimes a bad idea, but I'm going to assume that we're not going to have any weather at all. But historically, when we've got weather in these sort of races, it's based on the actual weather forecast for that area.
Alright, okay. I gathered that was going to be the case anyway, so that's going to be alright. At the moment, it's looking quite cloudy in Hockenheim, but luckily there's no hint of rain at the moment. I might actually check the weather forecast at the moment, actually, see what it's like in the good old Hockenheim ring in Germany as well. Hopefully they will be alright with that. As far as I'm aware, also, they don't have to pit unless they have any issues on the start with any damage or anything. So basically, it's just a sprint race for these 3 races to the finish to try and get their car home. And I will just check right now. I think it's cloudy there as well. No, oh, it's got a bit of rain actually. So it's raining. It's currently raining right now. 90% chance of rain. So
these boys do not want any rain.
No.
Trust me. Coming from someone who's raced these races, nobody wants rain.
No, us commentators love it, whereas the racers absolutely hate it. I race in another league, and if I find out there's going to be rain, I'm like, nope, because it's a lot harder in terms of traction as well. You could lose sometimes in some cars. You can lose the back end a little bit. In touring cars, it's a bit easier, but the rain makes it a lot harder. We'll just have to find out as the race goes on. And you never know, but it may be based on what the weather's like earlier. And if it's based on what the weather is like earlier, they're probably going to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief that it didn't rain earlier as well. So according to Matt, in Poland it's hot as well. So if it's hot in Germany as well, then it's going to have a huge effect on their tyres. It is 14 degrees out there, so it is probably the track temperature will be hot, but it won't be as hot on the circuit. So we'll just have to wait and see on how they get up their tyres to the end. And they have simulation damage as well. So if they mess up, it's game up. Well, it's pretty much game over for them.
Yeah, there's not much. You can't really come back from damage in these races, unfortunately. Aston Ash in the Discord says, "Please add rain just for the lols." I don't think anyone's going to like that, Ash.
No. Yeah, so on the Forza Discord now, they're chatting away, and I'm not in there at the moment, but I think I can read in their mind that they're all praying it's not going to be rain right now. So yeah, they probably all looked in the stream and they heard what the weather forecast is, and they're like, no, let's not let that happen. So yeah. But I'm hoping it might rain. It being up to interesting, but I've never seen it rain in Forza. So if it does rain, then it'll be the first time I ever seen a wet race in Forza. I've never seen it in the live Forza finals. Never seen it. It's always been sun. So, but obviously they put progression in these types of lobbies. So we'll just have to wait and see. I think we're about to be ready.
That's the last driver just joined the lobby now, so
Matt,
it shouldn't be long before we're underway.
No, it's not Matt, it's someone else, I think. Can't remember. Pretty much everyone is almost ready to go, so there's just a quick reminder on who's on pole. Tactical is on pole position in head of Vane and Mitch as well, and we also got Vettel splitting the Williams drivers as well, so keep an eye out on Vettel, like we said earlier. 1:45 was the pole time today, with a 1:45.7, and there was a few 1:45.8 as well. So we are last first drivers, and we are in lobby A, just as a quick reminder. So we're not broadcasting all the lobbies tonight. We're just broadcasting the top lobby, which is lobby A. So we'll just have to find out as well. Someone just asked in the chat, how did Sean get on for qualifying? I can't remember on the top of my head.
One second, I shall pull that up. Yeah, Matt's got a good eye there. I've been watching Sean. I think he's got a lot of potential. His lap time was a 1:46.3, so that should put him mid-pack. I would have thought in lobby A he's going to be around about 8th position, I would have thought, in lobby A. So he does a lot of other leagues and tends to win them. So it's nice to see him rolling with the big boys, see how he could do.
Yeah, he's very good at gaining up positions, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. And I think Matt reacted to Sean doing quite well in qualifying there. He said, I'm not going to say that because... well, he said, you beauty. That's what he said. So I'm not sure if I meant to say the other B word on stream. I think I might be, but I'm going to play it safe and not going to say that. So, Yeah, so we're just about to get readying up. Let us know, like we said before, who you think is going to win. Who are you rooting for to win this first race in the chat? The championship. Look up. Sorry.
Sorry, Jess. Sorry to interrupt you there. I just thought while we've got a bit of time, we could just have a quick rundown of Lobby B qualifying order.
Yeah. Sure.
So Lobby B, AMR Blackout got pole position with Barry in second, Mr. Warwick in third, with LSEM Suzuki in fourth. So these are all people that could have potentially been in Lobby A if only Lobby A was a bit bigger. So they're worth a mention. Maybe we can get some highlights of that lobby from other people's streams.
Yeah, we might see if we can get that for next week. It's just a bit of a recap whilst we talk about Lobby B as well, because we mainly get coverage of Lobby A, but Lobby B maybe might be just as close as well. I do believe you were racing in that lobby last week. It must have been some good action there as well. You must have been... How was it for you? Was it difficult? Was it not that hard?
Yeah. I mean, I've not been playing Forza a great deal, so last week was sort of my return to league racing. I spent all day practicing Laguna because I absolutely love Laguna. I got lobby pace in the end, so I got a 20.5, was it? I can't remember what time it was, but I got lobby A pace on the leaderboard, but I just couldn't reproduce it in the qualifying session. That's what 150 laps in one day does to you. So, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. It was good fun last week. Laguna's always a good one.
Yeah, it looked like good fun from watching the races from last week. It was such a shame that I missed it. I was busy doing something else, but I'm glad I was able to watch it back because it was such a good race all round. So well done to all the drivers who have done well, and hopefully we'll see some more action tonight. So everyone's in. I think what the host is doing right now is sorting out the grid order for the race, just to make sure everybody starts in the right positions, because you don't want the wrong person starting on pole. That'll be a disaster. So I'm guessing that's what the host is doing right now. That's why we are waiting for a little bit longer than we thought to just get this lobby underway. And that's one advantage of Forza. You can sort out who's on pole and stuff like that. I think most modern games are like that at the moment as well, so that's good to see as well. And Solo in the chat, he signed up only last night, and he's racing tonight. I do believe he's racing in another lobby, I think, or he might be racing in this one. Nope, he's racing in this one. So yeah, we're wishing the best of luck for that. We got quite a few other drivers. We got Addy, we got Martin, we got Merckx. I can't even pronounce his name, Chesmo, or however you say his name.
That's Chasmo.
Chasmo. I nearly got it right. I'm actually quite impressed with that. I nearly got it right. We've got Barcode as well. Sean, like we just mentioned. Spectre. Turbos could be another one to watch out for as well. Barry's not in this lobby tonight, but Barry is quite strong in the privateer category as well, and I think he could be a strong contender for the win in Lobby B. We'll just have to wait and see, but obviously we're covering Lobby A tonight as well. So,
here we go.
Oh, we're about to get underway then. That is good timing, as well as all the drivers are readying up to start. We have got as actually, no, the host is actually finalising the grid now, so he's just double checking just to make sure everything's right. So I'll just give you a rundown. Tacticals on pole with Vane in second, Rich in third, Vettel fourth, William 7th in fifth, Mute in sixth, Kami V3 in seventh, Barcode in eighth, Merckx in ninth, Sean in 10th, Spectre in 11th, Chasmo in 12th, and we've already seen a huge incident. I think it was turn 10. Where we've seen a lot of incidents in the past as well. So they just had their parade lap, and we've already seen position swap and change already at the start. So it was pretty hectic. But Tactical still managing to hold on to the lead from Vane, as they're having a very good battle right up the front, going through the long straight coming up as well. But tell us about that incident that happened just now, because that must be intense. Wait, no, Vane's going to try and looking for a move around the inside of Tactical. They were touching wheels a little bit there around the final corner. We've got Mitch right behind him as well, seeing if he can have a little bit of piece of the action
Vane,
as well.
I think Vane's. Oh no, I thought Vane had gone in front then on the last turn. But it looks like Vane's actually lost a position to Williams Mitch.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're all going quite wide on turn 1 there.
Yeah, the marshals probably will have something to say about that, I think, going into this as well. As look at where Vane is right now on the circuit with Mitch. They're just side by side pretty much everywhere you look, and it's going through past turn 4 and 5. It's just neck and neck between these two as they're going through the chicane. Let me just go on board with Vane right now. RZM Vane, as he's not that far behind as well. We've got Merckx in P5 as well. Barcode is not that far behind either. It's getting quite, I'm noticing it's getting quite dark cloud-wise as well. So we could see a little bit of incidence there as visibility may start to have a little bit of an issue. But again, we'll have to wait and see. As Vane is possibly going to try and have another look. No, he doesn't right now as well, as Tactical still managing to hold on to the lead. So some good battling from our top 3 right now.
Yeah, and the Williams 7, I think he's gaining slightly on the three leaders. They're sort of battling amongst each other, so it's probably costing him a tiny little bit of time. And look how much I'm on board with 7 now, and he has caught up a lot with Vane there. So it's not going to be long before we've got 4 cars in this mix for the lead.
Yeah, and that's what I like, 4 cars pretty much in sync with each other. But we can already see a train right in front of 7 between Vane, Mitch and Tactical. So let's just go on board with Vane again as they're going past turn 1. Those 3 going wide again. They've got to be careful because otherwise they will get a time penalty. They're going through the long straight gig, coming through turn 3 and 4. Mitch is going to have another look. And so is Vane as well.
Vane's got the outside there. If he can make it stick, I'm not on board with him at the moment. So
yeah, I'm on board, so that's all right at the moment. As Vane is on the right hand side, he's itching for a look at the moment, but Mitch is going to try and cover him off as well. Tactical already trying to pull away, but Mitch is having none of that as Vane is looking to capitalise on any mistake. Oh, this is very, very tense between these two, and looking at the track map at the moment, 7 is catching up, and we can already see a train for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th as well, so we'll watch that battle pretty soon. But as Vane almost touched Mitch again, we don't want that to happen, but Mitch is still managing to hold on, which is good to see as well, as we're going and trying to get what turn we are on. I think we are on turn, I can't remember, I think it's 12.
Is it 11 this one?
Yeah, it's turn 11. Turn 11 and approaching Sat, which is turn 12. He's just itching right now. This is going to be absolutely intense, but I think 7 is not going to be that far behind soon. So if these 3 don't get a move on, 7 could squeeze past them. Vane's hanging on a look, but not quite on this occasion.
Yes, 7's very close. I'm looking behind Vane now, and the Honda of 7 is catching up on these guys every lap. So, they've gone wide again, which is not ideal. This is where you could possibly see some action here on maybe a little dive bomb from one of these if they get desperate. But so far they're just following each other through. They're all remaining quite cool. But when it gets to the closing laps, they're going to really want to try and make these moves stick. So the pressure's on. And Tactical seems to be holding his lead quite comfortably. Nobody seems to be catching him.
No, we have said in the post-qualifying race thing that Tactical really needs to get a good start off the line, and he did that very well as well. And Mitch and Vane wasn't able to handle the pressure between Vane and between the other two, which was a bit of a shame. Unfortunately, we didn't quite catch that due to the technical difficulties, but we are back now, still racing as well. But meanwhile, I think we've got to see what's going on behind us. I think we've got Merckx not. I'm just trying to see how far everyone else is as well. in terms of times. I don't think they're close enough. Apart from possibly Vettel, maybe catching up to Barcode as well, but not
Well,
as close as to the
something
leaders.
something must have happened with Vettel because he was in the first 2 rows on the starting grid, so he was obviously involved in that little incident that we had at the beginning. I didn't quite catch what happened, but hopefully someone will have a replay and we can have a look at that after the race. But yeah, Vettel should be catching these boys, and hopefully he will make his way up into the top 6, which would be a good finish for him if he's had issues in the start. Finishing top 6 isn't a bad result, really.
No, because the higher you finish, obviously, the more points you get. But 6 is a good points finish. That'll be good as well. But he's probably going to be hungry for more than points. And I still see someone right at the front going side by side. I think that's between Vane and someone else. It's Vane and 7. Vane has caught up with 7 has caught up with Vane. Sorry. Going through the parabolic straight, but Vane's going to have a look around the outside of 7, but not quite enough, maybe. Yes, he does, actually. 7 almost had the edge there, but he's already chasing up. Oh, he's going to have a huge dive bomb side by side with him as he goes round the inside of Vane, and he gets P3 for now. Vane's going to have another look on 7 in that corner, but doesn't quite get it.
7's made that stick. That's a brilliant move from 7, and to go side by side through the previous corner, that is scary. You know, unless you know what you're doing, going side by side through there is scary stuff. It could end both your races, and then to make the move stick on the corner afterwards, 7's really driving a good race here, and there's been some contact. I don't. 7's managed to keep hold of it, but hopefully. There won't be any more contact between these two.
No, looks like they're all right at the moment. So far it's a Williams 2-3 at the moment. They're not 1-2 like they were expecting as well. But I think the top 2 are already starting to pull away from 7 and Vane as Mitch is again closing up to Tactical. So this could not be Tactical may not be an easy one to win yet. We'll just have to find out. It's already been 7 laps already. It's already been some intense action already so far in this Grand Prix, so which is good to see as well. But the massive gain is 7's gained 2 positions, and Vane has dropped down to 4th, and Merckx has go down to 5th, and Vettel's just gained a position on Barcode as Vettel is up into P6 now. And he was able to gain a position back as well. 80, another big gainer up into P13 as we've got an incident, have we?
Yes, we've had some contact in the hairpin. Vane was a little bit heavy on the brakes and went into the back of 7. But they both got away all right. Just a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, and looks like they're going almost going side by side again, but Merckx and Vettel are having a little bit of a chase as well, going past that straight. And no, I wasn't meant to be looking at that camera. I was meant to be looking at the other camera. Let's go on board with Vettel. Actually, no, he is not where he's not catching up to 5th at the moment, but he was able to get past barricade again. So they keep switching positions quite a lot in this Grand Prix so far, and it looks like Mitch and Tactical ahead is having a very good scrap for the win, so it's not going to be easy as you might think going towards the end. Mitch basically has 2 more laps to do it to see if he can get that race victory. It's not easy said than done, but we'll just have to find out, and Tactical could be having 2 race wins in a row. Mitch could
sorry, Vane's just made a little bit of a mistake there on turn 1. He very, very nearly sim twitched and lost it. That was very close. He did really well to keep hold of that. These curbs, they're vicious. You know, you get on them the wrong way with a bit of sim steering, and you can be straight off. But he got away with it. But 7 has extended his lead a little bit, so Vane's chasing 7 down now, and he can do it in this corner because he has got the brakes on him.
Oh, look at Mitch! Mitch
yes,
has gone wide! Mitch has gone wide into the hairpin. I think, I can't remember what corner it was, but it must have been that, as Tactical is managing to pull away quite a bit now from Mitch now. So 7 is now catching up to Mitch now. So what a bad mistake from Mitch there. Probably his chances for that race victory is pretty much gone. And I thought I was having lobby issues then, but looks like we are okay. And Tactical is still leading this race, and Mitch right behind in second. He's looking to forget about his mistake and try and get past. Vane is, I think, closing up to 7 again. So basically a scrap for the final podium positions is on the cards. We can also see Merckx not that far behind as well. So if Merckx sees an opportunity, he can possibly steal it as well. As we're on the final lap of this race, who is going to take it? It's a bit too close to call here.
Oh, well, Mitch is very close to Tactical now. This is the closest I've seen him all the way through the race. They've both took a little bit too much of that first turn. I don't know. I think Tactical's going to take it, but if Mitch can pull a good move into this bottom hairpin here, it's all about the brakes. I mean, if you can get on the brakes nicely down this straight and into this hairpin, get on the inside with a little bit of luck, he might be able to do it. He's gaining ever so slightly. He could do with being a little bit closer. Tactical's gone defensive. What's going to happen here? Because this is the faster line that Mitch is on now. No, Tactical's got the exit.
Yeah, Tactical nailed that exit perfectly there, and Mitch wasn't able to capitalise there, unfortunately. And you could see his last chance in these corners there, but it is very tricky to make a move in the final few corners, to be honest. So really, Mitch has got to get it done soon, because otherwise his race win would be over, and then it'll be 2 for 2 from Tactical since he won the final race in Laguna Seca, and looks like he's going to take another win, this time in race 1 in Hockenheim by looks of things, unless I jinx it, which I probably am. But let's see, it's Tactical is still close. It's going to be too close to call, as Mitch is right on the back of Tactical here. It's probably going to be a fight to a finish of this race. It's going to be a photo finish by the looks of things. Let's see what happens. They're side by side going into the final corner. Who is going to win? I don't know. Let's see. It's going to get I think it's going to be Tactical that takes the race 1 victory. Yes, he does. By 1 feet. Wow, that is close. And I think Vane just holds on to P3 with 7 in 4th. And we do have Merckx in 5th. So, oh my word, what a dramatic end into that race. And Tactical was able to pull away from Mitch at that last second. It was almost a photo finish, but wow. Tactical takes a win, very well deserved, and Mitch was able to gain 1 position from the start into P2. He could have got that race victory, but it was too close to call there. So good job from the pair there. Both of them were pretty much unstoppable this race.
Yeah, it's the result I expected, to be fair. Although I hope to have seen Vettel up there. I wish I'd known what happened with him at the beginning. There might have to be a steward's inquiry for that. I don't know. But yeah, what a result. What a finish. Brilliant opening race to round 5 of the TCC. So what's the grid for the next one? It's race results.
Yes,
the
race
next
results.
one, isn't it?
So Tactical will be on pole again, like he was in race 1. So that's going to be an advantage. So it will be this time. It will be the same people in the top 3, but just switched around. So Tactical will be in P1, Mitch 2nd, and Vane 3rd, and 7th 4th. So if race 1 has anything to go by, boy, I'm going to be very excited for race 2 coming up as well. I think the race will be starting in about 10 minutes time. So we're just waiting for that. But just talking about that race, there was so much going on. Unfortunately, we didn't really catch what was going on right behind as well. There wasn't really much going there, but I think Vettel had a little bit of an incident at the start which caused him to drop positions. Hopefully we might get a replay from him. If we do, I might get to see it for myself and analyse and see why Vettel lost a bit of the positions there as well. But Merckx was able to get a good finish as well, and Vettel was able to have a good comeback drive. So I wonder how it's going to go for race 2 to see what is going to happen. And that was a good, race 1 was a good race to start off the night, to be honest, really.
It was brilliant, nice and close. I'm just looking at the race results from the lobby settings, and overall race time. So you're looking at tactical 17 minutes 14 seconds 348, and then Mitch was 17 minutes 14 seconds 533. So there's less than 200ths of a second between them two for the entire duration of the race. So really, really close racing, and they're all the same, 17-16, 17-18. So we've got some really well matched people in here. The cars are well balanced. I think the crews might have slightly better exit speed on the corners from what I've seen, but again, that might just be Tactical's excellent driving. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit out of touch with these, to be fair. So
I think he's the only person in the crews tonight, isn't he? Because everyone else is either in the Audi or in the Honda or in the Audi RS as well. Quite a lot of people in the Audi RS. So yeah, I think it's not really due to the car. I think because he's a very good driver, he's able to execute that perfectly and try and defend, because what he's good at is defending. He's able to think tactically, literally. I think that's why he's called Tactical, because obviously he can think very well under pressure, and I think he can get a good start. Hopefully we'll be able to catch the start this time for this race. Fingers crossed about that, as we get into race 2 as well. As the wait right now is basically for the drivers to have a little bit of a breather, have a little bit of a break, have a get a coffee or something to eat before they get on to race 2. And if they're in a party and if with their teammates, have a think of strategy, what they could have done well, what could have improved for the next race. In particular, for some of the guys where you're expecting to do well as well. What does Vettel need to do to make sure he has a better start than he did in race 1? Because I feel like he needs to improve, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be looking out for Vettel. He's going to want an excellent start off the grid, try and get past Merckx before the first turn, and then he's just got the top 4. Then he'll feel like he's got back to where he should be then, I think, once he gets past Merckx. So he'll be happy then, and he'll be able to concentrate on catching the top 4 and hopefully mixing it up a bit. I'd like to see AZM split the Williams boys up a little bit further if possible. When we're talking teams, AZM are just recently rebranded. I think we're getting on to the next race by the looks on it.
Quick. Looks like they're going to get underway pretty shortly. So we're just confirming our orders. We got Tactical, who won the race, who's starting on pole. Then we got Mitch, Vane, 7, Merckx, Vettel, Barcode, who actually ended up 7th in that race in the end, with Sean in a Turbo 9th Solar 10th. We've got Chesmo in 11th, 80 12th, Kimi 13th, Spectre 14th, and Martin is in last place in 15th. Martin will need to get a much better start, I think, if he wants to climb up the order, but it might be possible. We'll have to wait and see. And yeah, the parade lap is about to get underway, and I can actually see the parade lap this time, so we're going to jump straight into it. So that's good news. You actually probably see the race start this time, as some of these guys are going a lot faster for the parade laps, as some of them are already losing a little bit there. Hopefully they're just warming up their tyres a little bit as well.
Yeah. There's been an issue here. I mean, we've just had a crash. I don't think these boys are supposed to be going as fast as there was there. Parade lap's supposed to be 80 miles per hour. If we've got some damage, we might see a restart here. I'm not sure, but they are going extremely fast. I don't understand why they're running so quickly.
Yeah, because if you run so quickly, you have less chance of making sure your tyres are warmed up for the race, and it's going to make life very tricky once they actually start the race. So they've probably been told in the party to just slow down and stuff. I can see quite a few people slowing down now. So because some people might be thinking, it's race 2, it's just a normal start, but no, it's not. It's still normal AOR protocol. It's a a parade lap, then they wait for a bit to go, and then they start the run. We won't know when they start until basically Tactical gets off the line. So yes, so that was a very interesting parade lap, I must say. I thought they were going a little bit too fast for that. That kind of reminded me what happened in W Series, where I wasn't sure, we weren't sure what was happening there at the start, because obviously there was someone going on through their parade lap, and the green flag was waved, but then there was trouble at the back, and boy, it was chaos. But then a safety car will have to be called as well. So it kind of reminded me of that, but this time they were going a lot faster. So we'll just have to find out. And I think one person's left the lobby, because I'm not entirely sure. I will double check as let me just check. No, everyone's in. I thought someone did leave, but looks like we are all good and ready to go, as everyone is lining up on the grid for the start of race 2 as Tactical gets into his box, and so is Mitch as well. So let me just go, let me see who I can go on board with. Let me just get the onboard cameras up, and I will go, actually I'll go on board with Vane, so I'll probably get a good view from the front lot as well, just to see what happens as well. So we're just going to wait for the lights to go green, well, probably not wait for the lights to go green, and just wait for the action to begin. So could Tactical get a good start off the line like he did last race? We'll have to wait and see. It'll be interesting to see what Mitch does as well, and see if he could improve on what he did from last time out. He did gain a position last race. Oh, and we're starting already in race 2 as we begin, as Mitch got a very bad start actually off the line, but I'm riding on board with Vane actually, and he got a really good start off the line as he's up into P2 already. But we've already seen a few people gone wide. Merck has gone wide as well, but looks like Tactical is already pulling away like he usually does already. Vane almost had a little bit of a look into turn 4 there, but looks like everyone's going through very cleanly, which is good to see as well. How is William 7 doing? He's still in 4th, and Mitch is going to try and see if he can make a move off Vane as well. Let's just see what's happened. Let's ride on board with Mitch in the Williams car. We'll just have to wait and see as he goes through the hairpin. Vane almost
we've had a collision.
Tactical. We had a collision, have we?
Yes, someone's gone straight into Vettel. Vettel did manage to get past Merckx, and he was sitting in 5th place behind 7, I think it was. And then going into the hairpin, we had a driver go straight into the side of him, obviously carrying a little bit too much speed. I didn't see who it was, and that's put Vettel down to 13th place. He's not going to be happy with that after his first race. That is not going to be what he wanted at all.
No, I think I probably jinxed him there. I think we both did. So I am known for jinxing on this channel, and boy, I was. But looking at this though, the tops, they're pretty much from 6th down to 13th. It's like a train is forming at the moment. So we can see some intense battles going up here as well. They're all pretty much close to each other as well. Spetz was almost going to have a look on Kimi as Vettel is going into the pits, and which is unfortunate for him, which is a bit of a shame. And what could have been for Vettel really, and he's probably going to be damage limitation for him right now, as a few people are taking advantage of track limits at the moment, which is not what we wanted to see, as Merckx is right behind Turbo. We are still seeing a 4-way battle pretty much for the win still, which is pretty much what we've seen in the first race, but I think it's more between Mitch, Vane and the guy in first place, which is Tactical. I almost forgot his name there as well, as he's already starting to pull away quite massively there. So again, Tactical's just having a very good start. He's not coming to his own, but I think Vane was trying to have a look around the inside of him. So is Mitch going around the outside, but not quite enough at the moment. And some good defensive from Vane at the moment. And Tactical must be loving this, because there's battles going on in the background, but not much for him at the moment. But it might be proved wrong, as Vane almost made contact with Tactical, but looks like they're good at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see, as we're on lap 3 of 9 at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this battle for first place, and it is a battle for first place, any one of these, but oh no! So Vane's took a little bit of the sand there, it slowed him down, Mitch went into the back of him. That cost him a little bit of time. I don't think places are going to change. No, Mitch has got the inside, so he might just be able to get second on the exit of these two corners. We'll just have to wait and see. As he got the legs, he's pushed Vane slightly wide. It's a bit slower on that crap on the outside, excuse my language, the green stuff. That does slow you down a little bit. Again, he's gonna send Vane's gone wide again. Not necessarily slower there. But all this battling, and Seven's come up. He's come up from behind. He's going to take second here if these two are not careful. Oh no, the bit of contact there threw Seven off, and now Mitch is well, I just can't describe it. Who's in second? Nobody knows.
Mitch.
One of these boys is going to be in second soon.
Mitch is at the moment, but Vane is still on the edge of Mitch. They go side by side into the hairpin. It's very tricky to overtake on the hairpin as looks like Vane has the outside of Mitch, and he gets position, he gets it done, and he retains P2. That was close from Mitch, but what, Seven, out of nowhere, he was able to catch up to these lot, and he was thinking, oh, the other guys might make a mistake and possibly make the move. He almost had P2, P2 went a little bit wide in a couple of corners, which probably cost him a little bit there, but Seven could be a dark horse in this race going into this as well. So we'll watch out for him. And Turbo got past Mertz for fifth. So so Turbo could come into the battle for fifth as well. So watch out for the midfield as well.
Mitch has just taken second place back off Vane, although my screen's gone off, so I hope that's still correct. Yes.
Oh,
yeah, Mitch is.
He's almost going a bit wide though, I think, as well, going towards the final corner as Mitch. Yes, he gains P2 on my screen. I think he is on yours as well. As you can see, Tactical in the background already falling away. He has nothing to worry about right now unless Mitch tries to close the gap between him at the moment. And we've got two retirements already. I think ADF and Solo unfortunately has retired so far, which is a bit of a shame really. So hopefully they can recover next race. Now, I wonder what will happen in terms of race position in terms of the reverse grid. I don't know how it works. I think they'll probably still start in last, I believe, because they did not finish. I think I'm not sure.
The reverse grid, you need to complete the race to qualify for the reverse grid. So
yeah, it's like normal.
They'll
AOR
more than
races.
likely have to start. Yeah, they'll more than likely have to start from the back.
Yeah.
But Mitch will just be thinking, so Mitch has got second now, he's just going to be thinking, I need to keep this clean air, I've got to catch Tactical. And that's all that'll be going through Mitch's mind now. It'll just be a hot lapping competition for him. He will just throw down them laps and do everything he can to catch Tactical. And hopefully leave Vane and Seven behind. But they're still quite close. He's not really pulling anything on Vane at all.
No, he is not. It's just he's not able to pull away from Vane as he would like, which shows how good pace both of these drivers got. They're pretty much even on pace right now as well. We can see Spectre not that far behind Kimi right at the back as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there as we are approaching, starting to go lap 6 of 9 as in lap 5, it will actually officially lap 5 of 8 of this Hockenheim ring circuit so far. This has been really intense race so far, as well as we've already seen a red cone, a red bollard already being pulled off from what happened earlier on in the race, I think. So that might, a lot of people might probably have to avoid that. But the biggest gainer, Chesmo, up 4 position. He had a really good start to this race. So that's gonna work in his favour in terms of points. So a good start from him so far, and he's on for good points today.
Yeah, Chesmo's proved in the past he can put the times in. He can keep up with these boys at the front if he puts the time in. He can definitely produce them top lap times. So as the race goes on, he will get faster and faster. The likelihoods he maybe not put that much practice in. So the more he gets used to the track, the better his times will get. And it's drivers like that can really steal the last race.
Yeah, and the last race is pretty much crucial, to be honest, to get your momentum into the next race. And I think that's what Tactical is using. He won the last race in Laguna, and that is helping him be more positive for this race here. And he has said in the past he has liked Germany as a track, he's liked Hockenheim as a track, and it is showing right now. He was being in a battle with Mitch. Can Mitch close up in these final couple of laps? I don't think he can, but you never know with Mitch. He can prove to surprise us when you least expect it, but 7 is closing up to Vane quite massively here in these last couple of laps, so watch out for 7 as well.
Yeah, all these boys are doing 45s. There's nothing between them. It only takes one little mistake. Oh, that's pretty wide from Tactical there. Yeah, it only takes one mistake, and it's game over basically. Someone's going to slip in there and take that position off you. So these guys, they've got to remain calm, cool, keep putting them laps in, keep remaining consistent, and they'll keep the place. But it's all about Mitch, Vane, and 7. They're the boys that have got the real work to do. They're the ones that are fighting. Tactical, he's got the clean air. The race is easy if you can just keep it that way.
Oh, look at 7 though. 7 is right behind Vane, but also Vane is right behind Mitch as well. So can Mitch be helping his teammate get past Vane? It is looking very likely, but let's see. Don't know who to go on board with actually, but let's go on board with 7 as we're going to have a very good view here going towards turn 12 as Tactical is already pulling away. So I think it's going to be the battle for second between these guys, between Mitch, Vane and 7 right behind as well. But I think 5 and 6 are pretty bunched up as well as 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So we'll keep our close eye on those as well, going further into this race as well. But I don't think they're going to be that close enough going into these final stages. But at the moment, Barcode, he is last at the moment of the finishers, but he's going to be starting on pole for this race if he stays like it, as long as he finishes. So it's going to be challenging for him to get a jump off the line where he needs to. But we are on the penultimate lap here. Vane really needs to get the move on Mitch done as soon as possible, really, otherwise it's game over for him, for P2.
Yeah, I mean, last race, Mitch really did get very close to Tactical. I actually thought he was going to sneak it past, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it this time. Tactical's got too much of a lead, although they are still very close. 7 is extremely close to Vane. He's got the legs on him down the Parabolica straight, and he's done a move around the outside. Vane's gone defensive, and there's been a little bit of contact. No positions changed.
No, not at this stage at this race at the moment. So looks like they're staying at the moment, but they could do a Mitch and do it on the final lap. But I think Mitch has been involved in final lap battles for pretty much every race so far in Hockenheim. He's been involved with Tactical, now he's going to be involved with Vane. Could we see a photo finish? It's looking likely at the moment as both Vane and Mitch up in front has gone wide. 7 has just got the fastest. I think 7 has gone really fast. He's on 1.5 as well.
Yeah.
He's insanely quick. He's right on the back of Vane at the moment. So this could be Vane's to lose if he doesn't get that move done. 7 is gaining 10th after 10th per lap. So watch out for him as we're on the final lap of this race, and Tactical is showing why he's so good at this track right now. He is on course to win a second race victory in a row tonight, a third race in a row of the season, which is what he needs at the moment, but it's not over till the checker flag falls. So I don't want to count the chickens before they're hatched at the moment, because Tactical can make a mistake. But look at Mitch though. Oh, each of the guys are making a bit of a lock up as they're going through certain corners there, but looks like they are all good at the moment as it's going to be an intense a final race with the more of the back, because 7's going to have more of an advantage for him being in front of these lot. But with these guys having a little bit of more pace. I'm waiting to see. Insane's going to try and make a move around the outside of Vane. Can he do it? Not quite. Vane holds on to that inside line from 7 there into that hairpin corner. That was very close.
That was just a little mistake from Vane then, and 7 was straight on it, ready to take advantage, but the Honda just didn't have the acceleration to outdrag the Audi, unfortunately. Or fortunately for Vane anyway, because Vane did make a tiny little mistake there and went a little bit wide. But they're very close. This is a definite battle for 3rd place here.
Yeah,
7 is not going to give up easily.
He's going to have another look again by the looks of things. No, he's not quite at the moment. We've just passed the corner where Vettel famously bottled it in the race. But let's go. Tactical's going to come across the line, and Tactical wins the 2nd race in Hockenheim. A good result. Mitch comes across the line in 2nd. It looks like Vane gets a final podium position, and 7, that was close from him as well. Really good driving for the top 4 with Turbo, and a massive result from him. P5, he's gained quite a few positions as well. And Vettel, not a race for him at the moment. He's down in 12th position, but what a good recovery drive from him, as he's not last of the finishers, which is good to see. But he's going to have much of a better chance this race, as he's starting P2 in the final race for reverse grids, and he's probably going to have a much better chance of gaining positions in that race than the last 2. So watch out for Vettel. But another race victory for Tactical. It looked like the race victory was won from the first lap, didn't it?
Pretty much. A repeat of race 1 for Tactical. Some swapping and changing for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Incidentally, Williams 7, fastest lap of the race, 1:45.5, fastest lap of the night, outdoing qualifying by 2/10. So 7 was pushing it, really pushing it to catch up with Vane. So it just goes to show these boys, they don't give up easily. You know, every lap is an opportunity for these guys. They want to make the most of it. Vettel, what a disappointment for Vettel. Can't believe he got hit into the hairpin, got damage, had to pit after a great start, getting past AMS Merckx, putting himself back where he qualified. We could have seen a good race for 5th if Vettel had managed to keep hold of it, but it wasn't meant to be. Hopefully, if he completed the race, let's just have a look at the race results, because he might start. So he's going to start in 2nd place.
Yeah.
This last race could be Vettel's race. You know what I mean? He's going to have the clean air. He's got the pace. He did a 45.7 in qualifying. So, you know, it's going to be very difficult for, even with the likes of 7 doing a 45.5. It's going to be very difficult for them to catch up to Vettel if he gets a clean start. So my prediction for this last race, Vettel for the win.
Yes, I think so, as long as he doesn't bottle turn 1. Like I said towards the end of the race, this is Vettel's best chance of getting a win this race, to be honest. He's in 2nd. He's going to be right behind his rivals, really, to be honest. And the guys up back are going to find it tricky in Hockenheim to overtake. It's going to be a massive train, and just watch out for these guys making their way through the field as well. But we know the top guys are very good at doing those sort of things, but it's not going to be as easy as we thought. So Vettel does have more chance. I would say Vettel for the win, to be honest, as well. And maybe Merckx might look a little bit strong this race as well. So we'll just watch out to see what he can do as well.
Yeah, Merckx he's done 45.8 in the last race, Merckx and Turbo.
Wow.
But they're not going to be starting quite so high up the grid.
No.
45.8 for Cammy. So Cammy is going to be hot on Vettel's tail. And then Spectre probably is the next one with the pace that's probably going to give Tactical, Mitch and Vane 7. It's going to give them a harder race. You know, if there's fast people starting at the front on these races, it's even harder to catch up from the back. So Tactical's got his work cut out for him. Let's see if he can get up there.
Let's see. He has proven it in the past. He managed to claw back so many positions at the start in race 3 last week. But obviously, he's starting dead last. Well, no, he's not starting dead last actually, because there was 2 people that DNF. So he will be starting last of the people that finished. So yeah, he's definitely got his work cut out in terms of getting through the field. But he's got to be wary of the guys that did not finish in the race as well, to make sure that they get a clean start as well, because you really don't want to make contact in the opening lap, and cause we don't want to see what happened to Mitch, where he completely lost it in a couple of laps, and that ruined his chances of getting a win in the race. But he still got some good points anyway, so we'll just have to find out. So the drivers are now having a little bit of a break now. They're getting their last few drinks, last strategy talk from their teammates, just to make sure they're heading on the right foot before we head to the final race. It's going to be exciting. There's going to be a few twists and turns. We haven't seen much rain yet at all. I don't think we're going to see it unless the lobby will pull a miracle, which I don't think it would. But this, from what I've heard this season, it's been absolutely fantastic in terms of the quality of the racing so far. So, well, I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to play out in the end.
I mean, I've been involved with ORL, and well, it was ORL before AOR took us over, probably for a couple of years. This is the biggest, busiest TCC I've seen. I think, I don't know, what season are we on now? I can't remember what season we're on. I think we're on season 5, yeah. So we've had 5 seasons at this already. This is by far the biggest. I mean, the first round had over 100 entries. We had a few technical issues, there was a few delays, but a lot of that's been ironed out now. We're getting a bit quicker at doing stuff, so yeah, I'm looking forward to the next season already, and this one's not even finished. These cars are just so popular. I don't particularly like them, but everyone else really does. I don't know what it is. I prefer my rear-wheel drive cars, but the front-wheel drives tend to hold a special place for a lot of, a lot of attention from a lot of people, basically.
Yeah, and I decided to have a go at the touring cars around Hockenheim earlier on today, and the car just felt so much good to drive, even though I was driving on the pad at the time because my wheel wasn't connected. But it just, the car felt so good. It was just you can get so much speed in the corners. It's just, and I could tell why a lot of people like driving these cars on the actual game. And I was driving the Audi at the time, and I was just having a few laps in just to make sure I knew like which were the best places to overtake, because usually I learn best on a new game if I drive laps myself, and that's what helped me. So yeah, I can tell why people like it, to be honest, and that's why we've seen a lot of close racing this tonight, to be honest with you. And it's great that AOR has been involved with your league now, because it's gone big from strength to strength, and I think we had about 120 people sign up. So and we've also had stuff going on in Lobby B as well. I'm sure that must have been a good race as well. We're about to get underway, but we only got 14 drivers. I think one disconnected. No, only got 12. That is interesting. So I think a few people disconnected, I believe. So we've got our reverse grid. So Martin will be starting pole. Turbo second. Vale's not there. Vale's ninth. That's that. Okay. So I think they might be doing a warm-up lap. I'm not entirely sure, because that is not what I was hoping the grid would start like.
It might only be top 10 reverse grid, perhaps.
Oh,
sometimes they do that to stop people taking advantage.
No, actually no, because Tactical's last, I think, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is very odd, but hopefully we'll get it cleared up. Or it might be another way that they figure out reverse grids, but I don't know. Or it might be just we'll find out anyway, as we're about to get underway. As Martin's on pole anyway, with Turbo in second. as well. Or I won't be surprised actually if it is only the top 10 in the reverse, and then like, and then the bottom 5 are in the top 5, and the top 5 in the bottom. I think that's what it is. I think it's the bottom 5 in the top 5, and no, wait, the bottom 5 in the top 10 in the top 5, and the bottom 5 in the top 10, and the top 5 in the top 10 in the bottom 5. I think that's what it is. Yeah, because Merckx is in 5th right now. Or they might be just getting to order now, but I don't know. I think that's what it is. Just correct us in chat if we're wrong, but I think that's what it is. But what I've heard was it was reverse grid, but I wasn't sure what kind of reverse grid. Oh, reverse quali grid. Okay.
Oh, it's reverse qualifying, right?
Yeah,
that
okay,
makes sense.
That was why I was a bit confused. So that's why, yeah, that's why you're seeing Vettel lower down. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't made clear this whilst I got asked to fill in, but now I am aware. If I get asked to do this again, I will remember. So the guy that started last at qualifying is now on pole for this race, so that clears up quite a lot. So apologies for my misunderstanding. We thought Vettel was going to be P2 in this race, but obviously not. So that definitely changes our predictions. Who do you think is going to win now?
I'm just watching LCM Turbo nearly going straight over the line. I think he forgot
he's reversed back
what he was
now.
doing. If Sean can get a good start here, you know, I'd bet on him being able to hold it probably off until the last lap, and then he'd probably have some people on his tail by then. But Cammy as well, he could get a good start here, and he's got real pace. So we'll see.
And,
I'm not sure now. It's up in the air.
And Matt is cheering for Sean in the chat. He's starting in P4. He's hoping for Sean to get a good result. You never know. We have seen surprises already this race. And we're starting. It looked like Turbo almost jumped the start, or if Martin got a bad start. But it looks like Turbo had a very good start going into turn 1 as he takes the lead. But I'm riding on board with Spectre. He started 3rd, and he's dropped down 3 positions. He's down into 6th, so not the best of start that he would have hoped. Right now, Sean's going to have another look on Merckx going into turn 3 and 4. A little bit of touching already then, but looks like Merckx manages to hold on. Barcode is side by side on Sean as well. But Spectre is going to look to see if any of these guys look at making a mistake. Oh, it's looking like it's going to be 3 wide into the Parabolica straight. I've never seen this in my life around here. We'll just have to wait and see who's going to take advantage of it. Going into the hairpin. Look at Sean. Oh, there's almost contact, mate. Oh, my word. I don't know what happened there, but that must have been unfortunate for Sean, as Sean is now down in 7th. And look at 7. 7 is down up into 6th. And looks like Vettel's dropped down a little bit there as well. Tactical's up into 8, so Tactical's had a good start as well. So is Mitch as well. So looks like the leaders from the last few races are doing good in getting positions done. Spectre is making a comeback like he's doing right now at the moment. So that was a crazy opening bit of the race, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a shame for Sean. He had quite a good start to the race. Got up into 3rd place. Bit of contact in turn 2, which put him back into 4th. Then he didn't have the legs going down the straight, so he was getting a bit swamped. And then there was just a big mess. That's the only way I could describe it, into the hairpin, which pushed him wide. So that's his hopes dashed, unfortunately. We really had high hopes for Sean.
I think we all did. I think we all wanted, even in the chat, we wanted Sean to do well. And look at it, he's not doing well. So bit of unfortunate, but that gives a chance to concentrate on the other drivers as well. As we've already seen Turbo pulling away in the lead. Turbo's had a good start, and he's already pulled away from Martin, so it's a dream start for him. Tactical from last place up into 7th. The last to first, could it be on? We'll have to wait and see. Spectre is side by side. I couldn't quite see who it's with Barcode and 7 free wide going into the hairpin. This may not end well at this rate, but all looks like they're making it clean. Wow, what? How are they doing? This is remarkable going through that hairpin. I don't know how they do it, but
That's
doing it
good
well.
racing.
That is good racing. It's probably the best racing I've seen in that that hairpin in a while, even in F1 to be honest. So these Forza drivers doing quite well. Looks like the guy in P6 is making a move on Barcode almost. He's staying where he is in P6, which is good for him. 7 is up into 4th. He's pulling away from Barcode quite considerably at the moment. Or almost a bit of touching wheels by the looks of things from, I think it was Vane who I was on board with.
Barcode just caught a little bit of the, tactical was on the inside. Barcode just caught a little bit of the sand and it slowed him down ever so slightly, which enabled Tactical to get the lead on him a little bit. So Spectre's going up the inside. No, he didn't make it keep. So Barcode's kept his position, but Tactical will pull away now and want to be catching up with 7. These 7 and Tactical. Yeah, a lot of wide action going on there. Cones flying everywhere.
Yeah, as we've seen in the last race as well. Spectre's looking for a move again as well. And he stays where he is. And he's got his next in his sights is Mitch in the Williams eSports car as well. And it's going to be very tough for him. But he's already starting to match a little bit on his pace as well. So it is looking promising. For Spectre, he's doing quite well, and we're starting to see a train again from Tactical. Let's see where he is. Tactical in 5th. He's got 7 chasing up him. No, actually, no, let's go on. I think Barcode is catching up to Tactical, but look at Mitch right behind as well. I just need to check what turn this is. This is, I believe, this is going turn 10 and 11, and Mitch tries to dive around the outside. Can he do it on this occasion? Yes, he does, as he's staying in, well, he goes up into P6, and now can he do catch up to Tactical and have a battle with him like he did in race 1? And he's looking increasingly likely right now, as Mitch is already pulling up some very good lap times already. But it looks like the top 2 are not changing, but 7 is catching up to P3 at the moment, so not always lost there.
7.
I love reverse grids. It just brings up so much drama and action.
Yeah, 7's right behind Martin now at the moment. So we're going to be seeing a move from 7 soon, I would imagine. Possibly into turn 2. If it can, you see, when they go over that curb, sometimes they'll save them time, sometimes it'll cost them. The curbs are so ruthless here. But 7 again on the braking, taking a big chunk out of Martin. Bit of wheel spin on the exit, but it shouldn't do him much harm. Will he have the legs to get on the inside of him here? So 7 needs to get on the inside here and stop Martin from getting the apex, which hopefully 7 will get a better exit out of this hairpin. I think he's going to pull it off. Yes. Textbook. I mean, that's exactly how you want a move to go. No contact whatsoever. Perfect.
That is brilliant.
A masterclass in overtaking there.
That is why he's in the Williams eSports team. It's the Williams eSports team, in fact, have been in action for pretty much a year now. And they've gone from pretty much strength to strength in pretty much all games that you can think of. F1, Forza, iRacing, Project Cars, the lot. They are a force to be reckoned with so far, and 7 is pretty much an overtaking god so far. He's been Mr. Consistent. I think he isn't going to finish lower than 5th. He's going to be in the top 4 pretty much in every race. So he's going to be one of the people that score the most points out of everyone in this race, which will be good. And also Tactical will be in that position as well, because obviously Tactical is in the 4th as well. But Tactical could catch up to the guys ahead soon as well. He could catch up to Martin, as I think Martin is not on similar pace to what Tactical is. We'll have to wait and see. And but 7 is right on the back of Merckx in P3, so could this be another challenge for him? This is looking exciting.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch will be looking to get past Tactical here before Tactical gets past Martin. Otherwise, Tactical might be able to get a little bit of a lead going over Mitch while Mitch is trying to get past Martin. That being said, they don't. I mean, they've got quicker times on the boards, but they don't seem to be taking that much out of Martin. Although they are, yeah, they've took it. They're a lot closer now, clearly. Tactical's right on Martin's tail now. The pressure's on for Martin. He'll be feeling this. I know Martin quite well, so
yeah,
he'll be feeling the pressure now.
Yeah, Martin's definitely under pressure from Tactical as Tactical's gone past. Looks like Mitch is going to get past as well. Yes, he does. And Mitch is right on the back of Tactical right now, going towards that tight chicane. Good sensational drive from Mitch so far this race as well. And he's going to look around the inside of Tactical. No, not quite at the moment to get the move done, but he is itching for space. Right now his teammate 7 still on the back of Merckx as well, but as you can see from the onboard Turbo is already falling ahead right now. He had a dream start and it's paying off for him, so he's got 2 laps to stay there, and looks like he'll be in a similar position to what Tactical was in race 2. But we could see a similar position for Tactical and Mitch in race 1, where we could see a fight for the finish for those 2, which is good because they are really good rivals. They go on well with each other. Looks like Mitch had another look there, but he's staying where he is at the moment. 7 gained quite a lot that last lap compared to his rivals. Everyone else has dropped a little bit. Kimi and Sean has gained about 2 seconds. So yes, it looks like Mitch could have a look around the inside. No, not quite now. He gets to switch back on the outside. What a move from Mitch there. But Tactical's going to have another look perhaps on the right hand side past the hairpin, going towards turn 9 and 10. Can he do it? He's having a look. He is hungry for it. No, Mitch stays ahead, but only just. But very well executed from Mitch there. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Tactical's not letting go. These two have had the race of their lives tonight. There's been nothing between them all night. It's been great to watch. A little bit of trading paint, but you know, if you're not doing that, you're not racing, are you?
No.
I've really enjoyed watching these two tonight. They've been so close. It's not often you get to see this sort of close racing on a community level. It's usually reserved for sort of FRC.
Yeah, for most of these guys actually do compete in FRC as well, so it gives us a bit of a taste of what to expect when we get to the actual esports in Forza, which does prove to be very exciting as well. So this is kind of practice for them in a way, but obviously they want to do well here as well. As Tactical's right on the back of Mitch again. It's going to be too close for call. I think at the moment, Tactical might just have the edge to get the move done, but Mitch is already falling away just a little bit, so I think it might be Mitch's to gain here in this final couple of laps. We'll just have to wait and see, as I think 7's not that far behind as well, right at the front as well, so he's having a battle of his own between him and Merckx as well. So battle for P2 is on the cards, but he's not quite there to get the move done, but we can still see the top 3 in the same camera shot, so anything can happen. All it takes is the Turbo to make a mistake and then it's game over, but we hope the Turbo does not make a mistake, because obviously we don't want to see that happen. But it's not over, so we'll check a flag.
No, Turbo's done well to get the lead he's got. He deserves the win so far, so hopefully he can keep hold of it. I think the gap has been reduced a little bit, so 7 just pushing Merckx along a little bit, I think. He's doing really well, Merckx. A good finish for him, hopefully. So, 7 has got really close to Merckx now in this last section. Looking up the inside, It's not going to happen though. That Audi's just got that little bit more acceleration.
Yeah, it looked like
I think the
going through
Honda's.
to turn 1. More cones on the
I think
floor.
the Honda's a bit of a underdog here. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It looks like Honda is the underdog in this circuit so far as well. So looks like 7 might have a little look and towards turn 3 and 4, but not at the moment. And interestingly enough, can Tactical get the last move on the other Williams teammate towards the end? That's another battle we should keep our close eye on. But the fastest lap so far is set by Mitch with a 1:45.5, I think. So he must have beaten the pole time. So he is on a charge. But look at 7 as he dived it in almost. Past Merckx. Can he quite do it?
Has he made it stick?
Almost going through turn 9 and 10. Oh yes, he does make it stick. That was sensational from the Williams driver of 7. Can he close up the turbo on the last lap? I don't think so. I think it's the win for turbo, I think. But I don't think Tactical's close enough to Mitch either, as far as the gaps are concerned. So, to be honest, it is pretty much, I think the battle we can see till the end is between, I think, 7 and Merckx, unless Tactical could bring a miracle. Meanwhile, Vane has just got past Martin. Vane's up to P6. Not the dream start he would have liked, but here we go with Turbo. Turbo's going to come across the line. Turbo is going to win the final race of the night here in Hockenheim with 7, a well-deserved P2. Merckx in 3rd, and Mitch just holds on to P4 ahead of Tactical in P5. Wow, that was a very good race. It does bring out some challenges in itself, but I think, again, like in race 2, it was won basically on the first lap. Martin didn't have the initial good getaway. Turbo did, and that's what helped him. So good job on Turbo. Is he going to get the momentum going into the next round next week? It's looking very likely for the Audi driver.
Yeah, Turbo will be pleased with that. He'll be buzzing. Winning A lobby with these guys, it's a main feat in itself. So he's going to be on top of the world right now. Well done, Turbo, for that. Give him some good points. I wish we could see some championship standings, see how he's getting on. It just takes a little bit of time to update that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But that'll be updated soon.
Hopefully we can have a look. Unfortunately, we don't have the fancy overlays that the normal commentators do. So hopefully you had to make do with the ones we had tonight. Hopefully that was better than nothing. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And yeah, so very, very good racing actually. Hockenheim always brings out some intense battling. And Tactical won the first 2 races. It just goes to show he's very good off the line. He got the pole when he needed to, and that helped him. And Mitch was there in race 1. He wasn't quite there in race 2. In race 3, he definitely did Sean as well. So it's going to be tough to call on who I think Sean out of everyone today. But consistently, I think, if it's based on consistently, I think 7 is pretty much Sean pretty much all 3 races. He hasn't been out of the top 4 at all. And he had a good result in race 3. So yeah, 7 is definitely my pick as well. What do you think?
Considering how well Tactical did, and then for Mitch to get past him in that last race, I think the man of the day is Mitch for me. He looked like he was a little bit on the back foot, and Tactical was just walking away with the first 2 races. And then when the last race come, Mitch just managed to pull it out of the bag and pull a move on him. So for the only person that's actually overtook Tactical, for me, Mitch was the man.
Yep. Mitch unfortunately wasn't able to get the win, but he was still able to get some great battles. So I'm sure he'll be happy with that. He's going to get some points. He's going to close up in the championship. And that is pretty much what he can do right now. So good results from everyone, I think. Sean, what could have been for Sean, really? He was in 4th. It was his best chance of getting some good points today, but he had a very poor opening lap, which cost him a little bit there. I wonder, Tisk, can we see him get a better result next week? He really needs to get a bit of the pace.
Yeah, Sean, you got to keep an eye on Sean. He is an up-and-coming star in this game, without a doubt. Like I say, he plays on a lot of other leagues, and he often wins them. So now it's time to step it up a gear and compete with these FRC guys and see if he can get up to their level. So big things for Sean coming for sure.
And big things coming up for most of these drivers as well. So I think that rounds up intense action in the Hockenheim ring as well here in Forza Motorsport in the TCC. So thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully it was great for you to hear 2 different voices tonight you probably weren't expecting. Hopefully we did all right. Thank you to my co-commentator Tisk for joining me. You did great as always.
Yeah, and thank you, Jess, because I didn't really know what I was letting myself in for tonight. It's my first night, so you've steered me. You've steered me in the right direction, and you've calmed my nerves down. It's been a pleasure to commentate with you, to be honest.
And you calmed my nerves down as well, because I was a bit nervous as well going into this, but it was a good race. We had a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning in the first race, but I think after that it was pretty much smooth sailing there. So next week, I believe the drivers are in Catalonia, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That is going to prove some challenges for the drivers next week, because we've seen that quite a few in other leagues as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. It is 11 laps of action. Then we've got Brands Hatch the week after, and then Sonoma for the final round. So it's going to be a tight championship. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know who's going to be in the commentary box next week, but you will find out near the time anyway what's going to happen there. So see you next week you will see the stream next week in Catalonia anyway. So thanks for watching. Have a good evening or night or afternoon, wherever time zone you are, and we'll see you next week. Good night.